Welcome to the Michigan Runner Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
We closed a 30-something annual Michigan Runner of the Year Awards, believe it or not. The Michigan Runner of the Year Award has been around since the magazine has, and that's 33 years. A couple years ago, our editor, Scott Sullivan, said something about folks who win these Michigan Runner of the Year Awards. They're always talented and tenacious. So this year's Michigan Runner of the Year is Hank Risley. Hank, tell us a little bit about what race you might have discovered that you might not have, had it not been for the race series.
I probably wouldn't have made it to Grand Island. Peggy's shaking her head. Yeah, she's the same. Yeah. That was kind of critical in the point series because I had a feeling that probably the boys from down in Detroit would drive up to UP. So we made a family vacation with Madison was allowing on it, and I took the boat over the island early that morning and ran the 10K.
Congratulations, Hank. Thanks. Mandi Zemba. Mandi ran track and cross country for Grand Valley and racked up 8 individual titles in track, indoor, outdoor, and cross country. And then she hit the roads. And last year, among other things that she did, she was the top American in the Crim 10 mile. She's injured, which is why she's not here, and she's especially disappointed because last year she was the top American at the Crim. This year, it's the American Women's 10-mile Championship, and she had a shot at it. Laura Cooper, she kind of came a little bit late to the game. She had hoped to win some money at the Riverbank Run, because she did really, really well. But she failed to register as a member of USA Track and Field, so they wouldn't give it to her. Well, that made her mad. But she also, thanks to Kevin Deo, said, well, why don't you put some of that energy into the race series since you're kind of ahead? So she did. So she won. She ran a couple races for the first time herself last year, including the Cherry Festival 15K and the Crim. She had never run the Crim before. She says she's coming back. So next person is here. Come on up, Bob. Here is your plaque. Bob is Senior Runner of the Year. You're from the Mount Pleasant area?
That's correct, yeah, Mount Pleasant.
And Bob didn't know about the race series. I don't think he knew there was such a thing as a Michigan Runner magazine. He was clueless.
That's true.
One day, one of our writers called him up and said, you won this thing called Michigan Senior Runner of the Year, and he said,
well, I thought it was a friend pulling a prank on me, actually. But I guess it's accurate.
As our writer said, you picked the right races, and you not only picked the right races, you ran them really fast. So the Crim was one of them. You ran it in 1 hour flat. Tell us about that race.
All I know is it hurts a lot, so I'm always glad when it's over.
Did you train for it specifically?
No, I just run. Just run.
One of the things that's kind of fun about reading the article about you is you're very quotable. You talk about floating, and it's kind of interesting if you can get to the point where you can float. So were you floating last year at the Crim?
No, I was not. It was a tough race last year. Tough weather, and actually ran with a little bit of an injury, so it was a little harder than usual. But
are you running tomorrow?
Going to give it a shot now.
And you're not injured, so we can expect maybe even sub-1?
Well, this is actually my first race of the year because I've had several injuries, so we'll see what happens.
Well, let's hope that you have discovered the Michigan Runner and that you enjoyed the race series, even though you didn't know anything about it. And welcome to the club, and congratulations on a great career. Next person on the list is a familiar name to pretty much everybody, and that's Harrison Hensley, who is our Contributor of the Year. You have no idea how many people got in touch with me and said, what about Dolores? And this was before Dolores Hensley became ill last fall, that we had made the decision and got the articles in the works and that sort of thing. Dolores got hers 15 years ago. So Harrison was the one that was kind of left hanging out there. So we decided it was time to catch him up. Peggy, come on up. Peggy Zeeb is our Senior Runner of the Year, and she did something that was nearly impossible, which is get into a new age group and a new age category in the middle of the year. So you really only got to count points for half of the year, right? Did you have your eye on it?
Yeah, I did.
So you picked your races based on the series?
Well, I did. I didn't realize that I wasn't going to be able to count the first ones.
Oh, well, they counted just for the Master Run of the year, and she almost won that too. So, so you had a great year. But I think one of the first times I noticed Peggy running, it's sometimes in a big race it's hard to see people. It was when you were at the Club Cross Country Championships in Dayton, and you were part of the national champion team. How was that?
Oh, good. I'm going to do it again this year. This year, hopefully, we can put together a 50-plus team.
And it's going to be in Kentucky, so it's easy for us to get to.
Yeah, and I think Sue Parks is going to do it too. So yeah, she said she was. So we're just looking for one more 50-year-old woman that is fast.
I think there are a few to choose from around here. Peggy, one of the things that you did is you also went to Grand Island.
I did. It was beautiful. I loved it so much that I went back and ran the marathon this year.
You did? How did the marathon differ from the 10K?
I almost stopped 2 times to look over this at Lake Superior. It was so pretty. And I was like running, and I started stopping. It's like, oh no, I've got to keep running in the middle of a race. But yeah, it was pretty. It was a lot more challenging than the 10K.
One of the things that you're kind of known for is you have this sort of fierce competitive streak. And tell us where'd that come from?
I don't know. I guess it's just in my nature. I don't like to lose.
And your day job is teaching?
I'm a teacher and a coach.
And we forgot to mention, Bob's also a teacher, right? Yeah. Well, Peggy, congratulations on you've had a great career all along, and we look forward to seeing you bring home that trophy in December.
Hope so.
Todd, a lot of people have seen Todd run, but they don't know who he is. He's been wearing a Hanson's uniform for the last 3 or 4 years, graduated from the University of Michigan. And I think the biggest accomplishment he had last year, aside from placing really well in the marathon trials in the previous November, was taking down Mike McGuire's 27-year-old Volkslav 20K record. And he took it down on the 4th of July, which is when the Volkslav is, of course. I was in Eugene, Oregon, actually interviewing Mike McGuire when I got a phone call from this guy. Guess what? Mike's record is gone. If you have a chance to see him, tell him. Matt, come on up. We were telling stories about you just a little while ago. You're coaching Wayne State cross country?
Yep, men's and women's assistant coach.
Men's and women's?
Men's and women's, yep.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. Okay, here's your official award, perk, or whatever. You've got your Wayne State hat on.
All decked out today, all decked out.
Okay, just in case we wondered where you're from.
Yeah, Wayne State University.
Matt, you've been really at the top of the racing scene for quite a while, just kind of under the radar. Tell us a little bit about your training.
Well, for me personally, it's, I'm kind of, I consider myself second tier elite. I'm not quite up there yet, but, working to get there. Right now I'm in the middle of a 150-mile week, so I'm putting in just as many miles as the big boys are, but, the speed and some of the coaching isn't there, obviously. Unlike a lot of the elites, I have to go to work, I have to go to school. I got all the stuff that I gotta do, so I don't just get to, I love to just work in a running store and run and have that to worry about, but I got bills to pay and stuff like that to do, so it's a little bit hard, but you try and make it work.
Well, Matt, congratulations. We really look forward to see what you're going to do in Detroit, and we look forward to seeing what Wayne State cross country does too.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.